All right, so this is it here.
Looking good. Trusted property management partner.
Yeah,
Guaranteed rent. Lovely. Nice stock image.
yeah, just got that from wherever.
Yeah, yeah. More than
Uh,
good enough.
that's all there, and
Yeah, yeah.
then the little contact thing there,
Yeah, yeah.
much like you had.
Yeah,
View our brochure.
yeah.
This logo here is a bit rubbish.
All right, well.
It's a bit thing, but I'm not entirely bothered about it. I feel like I've got a bigger fish to fry, sort of
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, yeah. These are small details, bro. Don't matter.
Yeah. Um,
Yeah, good.
and then yeah, just all like that.
Yeah,
Da 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 da. And then
good.
a
Got
little
the
bit,
table in
a little
there.
bit about expenses. Again, it's not foolproof there,
Nah, don't matter.
but it's just the numbers, like sort of indication kind of
Mate,
thing.
that's as good as it needs to be. You can fine
That's
tune things later on. We just have to have something there so we can,
100%.
when we're messaging landlords, they can land on something and see that you're actually a business. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. So I've actually done what you told me not to do, and I've managed to block myself out of spare room by directly sharing my website.
Right,
Uh,
okay.
so I'll probably have to just make a different email or something.
Yeah, just make a different account. That's all you got to do. Takes two
Yeah,
minutes.
yeah, I'll just do that.
Yeah. They don't like it for
So
some reason. I don't know why.
yeah, I'm not too sure why. So have done a little bit of area
Yeah,
research,
go on.
and I did start with St Albans,
Yeah.
um, and I just thought it was a little bit too far out of my price range in a
Mm-hmm.
sense.
Mm-hmm.
So then I moved over to Stevenage,
Yeah.
and if you don't mind, Luke, all I want to do really is just nail down this process
Mm-hmm.
of because on this spare room, for example,
Yeah.
a lot of them here are like live out
Yeah.
landlords, current
Yeah.
flatmate. They're
Yeah.
not really people, not landlords as per se, sort of thing.
Nah. Nah.
So I wasn't too sure if I should really be messaging these people.
Nah, you shouldn't really.
Yeah, I shouldn't. And
We
then
don't bother.
even when I come down to this guy, agent, our
Yeah.
child property lettings,
Yeah.
he seems like he's in the game, same game as what we're
Yeah.
trying to do.
Exactly. So he's gonna wanna rent a room for top price.
Yeah, so he's not someone who I should be sort of
Nah.
pinpointing in a sense. Even
Nah.
this man here, live out landlord.
Yeah.
Um,
You should just be using a spare room for the tenant find process and like
yes.
gathering data.
All right. So on this, it says this is SG1 in
Mm-hmm.
Stevenage. Done a little bit of research.
Mm-hmm.
Good area, central. It's got Amazon
Yeah, yeah.
nearby,
Yeah,
GSK,
yeah.
hospitals.
Yeah.
And Stevenage, apparently, according to the council, is getting quite a lot of work done
Mm.
in this local area to kind of
Yeah.
boost it up and all that sort of game.
Yeah, I've heard that.
So
And how
quite a lot
far's
of content.
Bedford? How far's Bedford from there? Not far, is it?
Bedford, I'm not too sure.
Yeah, it's just because they've got Universal Studios getting built soon, isn't they? From what I've heard.
Yeah, do you know what, that Universal Studios that kind of come on radar ages ago. Maybe not
Yeah.
Universal, but somewhere in Kent.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Um, and it kind of fell through.
Ah, okay.
The one in Kent did sort of thing. It was meant to be like the next Disneyland Paris or
Yeah,
something.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I've heard some
And
of the lads in the program talking about Bedford are apparently doing one near that
yeah,
area, but I don't know. You have to do a bit of research and see.
yeah, I think the plans are in place.
Yeah, yeah. How
Got to
long it
come
takes?
through. In reality, not too sure, sort of
Yeah,
thing.
yeah,
But yeah, that's a good thing to sort of have in the back of the mind.
yeah, for sure.
So what? Do you mind if you just share your screen with me, Luke?
Yeah, of course.
How do I
What do you
stop
want to
doing this?
see?
I just want to go through. How do I stop doing this, Luke?
Sorry, it should be done now.
All right, so it's just on you now.
Yeah.
I just I just want to see how you do it. Like I
So
know it's all on the module now, but if
no,
there's
no,
anything
that's all right.
how we do it,
That's all right.
I
So
might be able to
I'm
ask.
I'm not even looking on spare room for property. I'm on
Yeah,
I'm on Gumtree because that's where I think I can get the best results.
yeah,
So Stevenage, and then if we said, I don't know, couple mile radius, 1 mile radius, start with.
yeah. So just before we do that, uh, Luke,
Yeah, go on, mate.
we got Stephen. I know it's a numbers game. We've got to get out there and meet people and
Yeah,
everything.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
But there's kind of areas within areas that
yeah,
you should be focusing on, isn't it?
yeah, yeah,
Is that kind of not blowing out the scope? So even if I do find, like, say, that four-bed house in Ingleside Drive,
yeah.
um, is it still might not be like doable if that makes sense, sort of thing.
Oh, it could be. Why do you say it wouldn't be doable?
Well, it's just maybe I'm kind of just looking into my research a little bit too much, relying on it
Mm.
heavily. But there was just like two free postcodes within Stevenage
Oh, where you think it's best?
that stood out, sort of thing.
Well, this is SG1, no?
Yeah, that's SG1. Yeah, just for example, like
Yeah. So which postcodes did you see as best? SG1 and
it's basically SG1, SG2 were the best ones.
yeah. Okay, well you could be more specific if you wanted to.
Yeah.
It's just we'll have less to look at, but could be more specific and see. So I'm basically looking on Gumtree to start with, and then I'll normally go private as well, just
Hmm.
because the ones that are on with the agency, even if it's on open rent, the landlords don't tend to respond that much.
Okay.
Um, so not loads to look at, but
No.
I would message like these people anyway, because you never know if they've got more properties or not.
Yeah. So
And I'd
so just
widen.
looking at these ones specifically, Luke, like see that two-bed flat
Yeah,
with
yeah. This one.
that yeah, that was on it's on 1200 £1,200 per week. That's a lot
Yeah, they're trying to rent it out as a service accommodation by the sounds of
as your
things.
rent to rent thing.
Yeah. Oh, it might be a typo.
Yeah, that's got to be you paying that sort of money in like
Yeah,
central London.
it's a typo because I can see down there in, the right move ad. This don't even look real. It's saying it's in Essex.
Right.
I think this is just a silly fake ad.
Right, okay.
It's a complete
Um
different property. Don't forget that one.
yeah, forget that one.
But how far is
So
Welwyn Garden from you?
Welwyn Garden, that's a little bit more than Stevenage, but probably about
Yeah,
another 20 minutes.
yeah,
But so say that three-bed house there, Luke, for
yeah, yeah,
£1,600 per month.
yeah, yeah,
Um, typically on that spare room,
yeah,
they was going anywhere between 500 to 700 a month
yeah, 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 yeah.
per room.
Mm-hmm.
So if you had three of them going at the maximum £700,
Mm-hmm.
that's still only pulling in £2,100 sort of thing, and
Yeah,
then you've got the bills on top. So would
yeah.
you just even say that one's not even doable, sort of thing?
Well, like what I said last week to you, one of the girls in the group, we kind of sometimes have to float between the two strategies, right? So think about like, don't just think about just rooms month to month. Think about kind of floating between Airbnb and by the room as well. So the example I gave last week was the girl in Stevenage. She's rented a 3 bedroom house. I think she's paying around 1,500 for it, maybe 1,450.
Yeah, yeah,
And she's got three lads in there, but they're paying her a bit of a premium because they didn't want to stay in a hotel. So they've
yeah,
all
yeah.
got their own room, but they're paying more than the price that you'd see on the average price on spare room. But that still works out to be cheaper than if they were to be in a hotel.
Okay.
And their budget's being given to them by like their company, so it's not coming out of their pocket.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure she's collecting around 2,650, something like that. And I think she's paying around 14.
Okay.
And her bills are around 350, around 400, I think they are.
Yeah.
It's not a big house. So in those examples, it's kind of like an Airbnb because they're paying like a fixed price per month for the whole house. In examples like the one we're looking at here, we would go and view something like this, and then we would put an offer in of maybe 1,400.
Hmm.
It just so happened that she had already found those guys from going and doing like a bit of boots on the ground work, going into a couple building sites in the area, and she had already spoken to their relocation agent who works on the company's behalf, and she told her the budget, so she kind of knew what she had to play with.
Yeah, yeah.
And they were spending around I think 3,200 in a hotel. So she just made them an offer of around 2,600, and they jumped at it type of thing.
Right. Okay.
So in those instances, it's you can still use a smaller house like a 3 bed house, and when you look at spare room, don't just look at the room rate. Sometimes you'd be like putting the house all furnished on a spare room and having a price for the whole place, and then in the ad we would advertise it like perfect for contractors on a like short term, like month to month basis. And you might get a group that just come and pay like you could advertise it for 2,600, all bills included per month, and
Yeah,
someone
yeah.
will just come and pay that as like an Airbnb almost.
Okay. All right.
So don't rule out the smaller houses, and even if they look a bit expensive, everything's up for negotiation.
Yeah, yeah.
because that one she had was up for I think 1500, 1550, and she got the landlord down to 1400, but just because he kind of wanted a company and he'd had a tenant in there before who stopped paying the rent and stuff, so he was motivated to go with a different option.
Right. Okay.
So yeah, we're not always looking for the perfect price or necessarily the perfect property. Sometimes you just have to, like we said last week, it's a numbers game and you want to speak to as many people as possible, you know?
Yeah, 100%. So just on this bottom left side here, Luke,
Yeah, here.
there's not loads of numbers there, sort of thing. And I
Nah,
know.
there's not.
Um,
But this is just one portal, you know?
yeah, yeah.
Like if we can also look on Open Rent and it's a little bit of a different pitch on here. You won't be going as a company, you'll be going as an individual in terms of the message that you send.
Hmm.
And then when you get on the viewing, that's when you like explain a bit more about what it is that you do and stuff.
Yeah.
But to get the viewing initially, you're gonna have to just go as Ash, as if you were gonna potentially move in there yourself.
Right.
Um, so you'd book a viewing as if you would for your own place. And then when you get on the viewing, that's when you can give them a bit of a business card or whatever and say, look, this would be for my company.
Right.
And then you go from there, you know?
So on this open rent, it's just that you're going to do it as if you're going to move in, sort of thing.
Yeah, because there's a bit more like hoops you got to jump through. Whereas Gumtree, you can send a message straight away.
Right.
And they're like, it's a landlord you're speaking to, and then you can pretty much say we're a company in that first message, so the ice gets broken. Whereas here, you kind of got a message as an individual, like you got to sign in, and then your message as yourself. You don't, as soon as you mention a company on here, they class it as spam, and the
Right.
landlord stops seeing your messages. So as soon as you click message landlord, request a viewing, they're probably going to ask you like a couple questions. Income, how long you want to rent the property for, normal questions you'd answer if you were moving in somewhere. And
Hmm.
all you're doing is trying to get the viewing. So it doesn't really matter. You just fill out the information just so you can get the viewing.
Hmm.
And then when you're on the viewing is when they say, oh, is it for yourself? That's when you say, oh, no, it'd be like for my company. And we'd like offer a long-term guaranteed rent. And they're either going to say like, I'm interested in that, or they're going to say no, you know?
Yeah.
So
Right.
again, it's a numbers game, but there's always properties to look at. So if we say Gumtree's a little bit tired right now, there's not a lot there in terms of like properties, then we just move straight onto Open Rent, and we're still trying to get as many viewings as possible. So once you've exhausted everything on Gumtree and SG1, SG2, then you'd go through these, and I'd message as many of these as possible. Um,
Mm.
this free bed, I'd message all of them and try and arrange a viewing as myself. That'd be the next step. Um,
So that's so just go on that one that you looked at, Luke.
free
Sort
bed,
of. Yeah, I can't
this
remember.
one.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Go through next photos for me. So that looks really tired, doesn't it? That
yeah,
to me just looks like it needs a complete reno. Well,
yeah, yeah,
not
yeah. You're thinking about living in there though.
yeah, but would
Contractors
you
don't
look at
mind.
that? So that's a little bit too much to do in there to make it look attractive to.
Well, it depends because I've had places like this where, you furnish it and all of a sudden contractors are still happy to rent it, as long as it's clean and efficient, doesn't have to
Mm,
be like, remember, it's not someone's home, it's just somewhere where they're going to come and stay that is away from home normally. So sometimes they're only there Monday to Friday or Monday
yeah,
to Thursday even. And once you furnish it and you set all the bills up and it's got Wi-Fi, it's just more space than a hotel and somewhere
yeah,
where they can cook. So these ones are the ones you're going to really get for a better price as well because they're a bit older and they don't look like modern.
yeah. That's true. That's
So
true.
something like this, you could offer 1400, maybe even 1350, and the landlord might bite your hand off because a family tenant ain't going to want to really move in straight away because it needs a bit of work and updating, don't it? It's a bit old looking.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I've
100%.
done flats like this in the past that have literally just been like bought from someone who's literally like an old lady who's passed away and someone else has bought it and they want a guaranteed rent and we've furnished them, stuck them on the market and they still rent.
Right. Okay.
Don't see it as it has to look somewhere where you would live. It's just somewhere where someone would stay Monday to.
Yeah, no, 100% get that. Yeah, just wanted to raise the question of
Yeah, of
if
course.
it turns people off, if it like loses your potential rental
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
ability.
Course, course. But you'd be surprised. You like you can dress up a kitchen like this. I know it looks old and that, but you put some bits and bobs in there. They can see that it's got kettle, tea, toaster, and things like that, and they think, okay,
Mm.
I could, I could, I could stay there Monday to Thursday. You know, you put some beds in there, and then all of a sudden it can look all right. Like it can look warm and friendly, better than a hotel room, more value. You know?
Yeah. Um, and when you're so when because it does look tired, so it
Yeah,
possibly raises functionality questions. Like when you
yeah,
go there,
yeah.
are you checking if the heating works? You ain't gonna stand there and turn the heating on and wait 10 minutes.
No, but I'd ask a question.
Yeah, yeah,
Like everything, does everything work? Boiler work, you know, water. Sometimes I do run the water, or if it's warm, or if it's freezing cold in there, I'll ask like, do the radiators work? Things like that, because I need to know, you know.
yeah,
If we're going to go into business together, you're going to be on the viewing with the landlord, so you can ask them questions, and it's not an agent who's going to like fob you off or not know. It should be the owner.
mm.
So
Is that what this open rent is? It's just
yeah, it's
almost
supposed
direct
to
to
be
landlord.
owners. I know it says Vivian P, but that might be either the landlord's name or if that stands for properties. Some of the landlords have like limited companies, so sometimes they're set up as companies on here, but they're actually just the individual
Mm,
landlord. Um, so yeah, you want to make sure things are working and stuff. Like if you're going to be serious about making an offer, then you need to know that everything works. But
mm,
again, you know, it's a numbers game, and you just want to make sure that if there's not much on Gumtree, then you need to go onto a different portal and hammer out as many messages as you can on here as well. And
yeah,
then
yeah.
the goal is to just get as many viewings as possible, you know, in those postcodes that you noted there. And then we go from there. Like once you've done as many as you can on Open Rent, then I'd go onto Facebook and do the same thing.
Mm,
You can be a bit more direct on Facebook. Don't have to go as yourself. You can go straight in as a company,
yeah, yeah, 100%.
send a link to the website and stuff. So those are
Honest,
like,
on that spare room, look, yeah, it was like all the messages were gone. I was like, "What's happened there? Like, where's my messages?" And then I got there like, "You're sorry, you've been blocked out." I was like, "Oh, you're out of order."
we've had a
Uh,
few people get blocked out of there. Don't worry about it.
yeah, 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 I was like, "You're out of order, man.
Just trying to work
just
here,
trying to
man.
do it." Yeah,
Yeah, I think they've had a lot of people try and do similar stuff. So I think they've clocked on to people now and they've realized that what people are up to, like,
mm,
but it's all part of the game. It's part of the learning process. You know what I mean? You just gotta just make sure you're maximizing your time because you said you've had issues in terms of like finding the time this week or what? You've just been busy with work and that.
um, it's I just think I just thought pre doing all this. I just thought in my head like I'll get home like and then be like
You'd
four
have it
hours,
all
bang it
done.
out, like bang out 4 hours, like.
Yeah.
But if I get home at like 6 or something,
You just
like
want to have your dinner and go to bed, didn't you?
pretty much that, Luke. But like, I spent 2 hours each night on a website kind of thing.
Yeah.
I thought, I'll just make a website, like, I'd be done into it, like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then like, kind of like Wednesday, I went and looked at a job down Edgware Road.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Didn't go home till like 7, like, and I can't like neglect the missus either, really. Like, I need to spend
Nah,
time
no,
with the
phew, that's a dangerous game to play. You got to,
yeah, like I just thought like I'll be steaming
yeah,
through
yeah,
this, like,
yeah, yeah.
but I've just had a bit of reality check sort of thing,
Yeah,
and
but that's all right. That's good. It's very normal. Like everyone, what normally happens is people start and they have this highest expectation of like, you know, I'm going to do this. I'm excited. It's going to happen straight away for me. Then they get into the program and they realize, okay, there's a bit more work than I thought was needed. And that's probably the realization stage that you're at now. And
yeah,
then it's either goes one or two ways, you know, often either people they don't find the time and they give up within a few weeks, or
yeah,
they think, all right, well, let me just keep sticking at it. And as long as you stick at it, then those hour that you get every now and again to do some work, you're rather than building a website, you're sending 30 messages on Gumtree and OpenRent. And then
yeah,
that's progress. And then once we're doing that consistently, then we're going to get our letters sent out as well, like on the HMO
hmm,
register for Stevenage, if that's the area we're going to target. I think there's only like 400 HMOs
okay,
in Stevenage, so it's not going to be an expensive campaign. Spend a
yeah,
couple £100 on sending some letters out. Then they're working for you in the background, so landlords are going to be contacting you, asking like, you know, like I'm interested in your service. Come and have a viewing, basically, and they're going to be HMOs, so
mm,
landlords who are open to what you do and they've got a property you can rent out by the room, like what
mhm,
you see on Spare Room. So those will start working for you. They compound over time. You know, if you send a few hundred letters every quarter of the year, then you know they start to those calls and emails start to come in. So we
Hmm.
get that going. We're doing all the outreach on Gumtree, Facebook, and OpenRent. And then, there's even the paid ads, which you can turn on and off at any time. You could spend a couple £100 on a week of ads, and you could have a landlord messaging you with their number um, every day. Like we get a lead a day normally by spending around 35 quid on paid ads. So you could set that up as well, and it's pretty straightforward. The module that we've got that you can copy everything that we're doing basically. So that might take you a week or so to set up properly. But once that's firing, then you've got leads coming into you as well as you doing the outreach as well. So it gets easier each part of the system that you plug in,
Yeah, 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 yeah,
and even
yeah, yeah.
agents, even
100%.
agents as well.
Uh,
Even agents on Rightmove, like they're
yeah,
that's how Louise got hers. She's just been going and speaking to agents, and it's not like when I first started when they don't understand it. Like they know what rent to rent is. So some of them will be put off by it because they've maybe had a bad experience. But a
mm,
lot of the agents that Louise was going to see, they were like, yeah, cool. If it isn't this one, we'll find you a different one, and we're happy to work with companies. So they were kind of working for her once she'd gone and spoken to a few of them. They were
yeah.
calling her saying, "Oh, we've got this one coming on. It's an HMO. Do you want to come and have a look?" And they were very open in Stevenage to working with companies. So
Oh, that's
that's another route as well. We can have a look at. We don't just have to look at Open Rent and Rightmove. We can Open Rent and Gumtree. We can look on Rightmove as well.
you said that then look like even estate agent sort of thing. Is that not
Yeah.
your usual sort of go-to route? Is that not
Well,
usually
I
like
prefer. So I just prefer nowadays to just the path of least resistance is the landlord normally
yeah,
for me.
like direct to
Um,
landlord sort of thing? Yeah.
yeah. So if we said like 10 messages to landlords, you're gonna go and you should be getting around 3 viewings roughly. Um, so with an agent, you might send 10 messages and only get one viewing. So it's like, in terms of what you can get for your time, you're going to get more bang for your buck
Mm,
um, going straight to landlord. But again, once you get in there with an agent and they're used to hearing your voice once a week on the phone, just calling up asking if they've got any tired properties. If you go on a viewing with them and you have a little chat, you might build up a little rapport, have a chat
mhm.
about football or whatever, tell them you're in the trades and that.
Yeah,
Next minute they're thinking of you when something's coming on, and they're messaging you before they've even advertised something.
yeah, yeah, 100%.
So we got all these to look at as well. All these ones that are in SG1 and stuff, you can call up these guys and try and get a viewing. There's no harm in trying to do that. Um, they're a little bit on the expensive side. These are all brand new build ones, but again, still worth it. You can maybe do it like an Airbnb with these types of properties.
Hmm.
But I'll be looking more at something more like this, 1750, maybe put an offer in of 1500.
So would you then just press a contact button there,
Yeah,
like
yeah, literally.
just email it, or would you phone them? Like,
Depends what mood I'm in. If I'm on the phone, I'll just call them,
mm,
or I'll request details and try and arrange a viewing that way. Normally, they contact you. If you send a message, they might call you the
yeah,
following day or later on that day, and try and book you in for a viewing.
hmm,
So it just depends. I think it's quicker to call them,
yeah,
and just literally just say I'm just trying to get a viewing. They might not even ask you many questions, like in which case you can just go to the viewing. That gets you one step closer to making an offer. So
mm,
you could just go to the viewing, call them, arrange a viewing. If they do start asking, is it for yourself or what's the situation? That's when you can go into, no, it's for my company. Is the landlord open to like a long-term company let? They're either going to say yes or no. It's
yeah.
it's a no-brainer. Some landlords will be open to it, some won't.
So
But
you wouldn't lead in with I'm trying to find something for my company. You just kind of book the viewing.
you could do that. You could do that. But initially, I'm literally just calling up saying, "Hi, I'd like to view this property. Can I arrange
Yeah,
a
yeah,
viewing?" Because some of the agents, they're literally like, "Yeah, no problem. Can I take your name, contact number? We're doing viewings on this day. You're booked in." And it's an
mhm,
easy conversation to have. You ain't even got to go into the whole spiel of what you do just yet. I think go to the viewing, and that improves the trust. Then they're like, "Okay, he's turned up to the viewing." And then it's like they might have told the landlord, "Oh, we've got someone who's coming to view." A couple other people might book in and not turn up. So even just by going to the viewing, you put yourself up the list
yeah,
of like
right,
potential tenants. And then if you seem like a decent chap on the view and you don't seem like someone who's going to mess around, then that improves your trust even more. And then if at the end of the viewing when you're just walking out and they say, okay, is it going to be for yourself, or and you say, oh, it'd be for my company, they've already built a rapport with you, so they'll be like, oh yeah, all right, no worries, like we've done that before. Just put an offer in if you want it, and we'll go from there. So
Okay.
I wouldn't lead with what you do straight away. I would
Yeah.
just let them speak, and if they start to ask, then you can say, okay, yeah, it'll be for my company, but it's nothing to like hide away from. You know that they'll be very experienced with working with companies by now. You know, it's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
so you just have to demonstrate that you're one of the better ones and not someone who's going to mess around. And I think just by being yourself, and obviously saying that you are in a trade as well, that's going to help in terms of building trust.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, there's no point pretending to be something you're not almost in
Nah, nah,
in a sense, they're kind of not trying to pull the wool over their eyes in a sense.
nah, you don't need to. It's not that
Nah,
hard of a pitch. It's not you're not doing
nah.
anything untoward. And you got to remember some of these agents, they're just working on behalf of the landlord for like a tenant find.
Hmm.
So they're the only way they get paid by the landlord is when they find a tenant, and that tenant could be yourself as a company, right? So they might charge 1 month's rent to the landlord for a tenant find fee, and
Mm,
then they step out of the way, and then it'll just be you working with the landlord direct.
hmm.
So you can't tell by looking at this ad whether they're just doing a tenant find for the landlord or whether they're doing management ongoing, where they'll take 10% from the rent or maybe sometimes 12 or 15%
Yeah,
for collecting rent. You can't tell by looking at the ad if that's the agreement. So it is definitely worth contacting as many of these because some of them are just literally doing a tenant fine for the landlord. I've even had some where I've looked at them and I've called the number. It's gone to like a voicemail of the estate agents, and then the
mm.
landlord's called me back because they've got some relationship with the agent where they're just using them for advertising. And
Okay,
then,
yeah, yeah.
do you know what I mean? So you just never know. So that's why it's still worth just calling as many of them as you can and filtering through them. You know, don't try and look for the perfect ones because some of them will be landlords who have other properties that aren't even online.
Yeah, got ya.
Yeah, so I'd exhaust all of these. I probably would go two bed and above just to filter it a little bit. So you've got 43 here that you could call or message. So my workload, if I was you, would be messaging all of these people, trying to arrange viewings,
Mm.
calling them as well. And then I'd also, even though there's not much on here, 5 miles is a bit too far maybe from where we wanted to look, but again, you never know. Might be worth still. Luton's a
Yeah,
bit far in it from where you want to really start, but
yeah. It's just a little bit too far. It's just traffic. Like, I know it's not too far, but yeah, it's just.
yeah, keep your eye on Gumtree then. But for now,
Mm,
there's not a lot on there, so I would attack all of these ones on Open Rent as yourself, and I
mm.
would I would approach all the guys on Rightmove as well. That'd be my workload as well as Facebook. I didn't see too much on there, but keep an eye on this because they do pop up and then they disappear. Someone rents them, so I would
Okay.
still keep an eye out for SG1 on Facebook, and then I will try and get some the HMO register, which I
Hmm.
may even be able to get from one of the other students, maybe, which will save you a couple of weeks of speaking with the council.
Yeah,
I
100%.
might even try and get Louise to send that over.
Yeah, that'd be great.
That'll give you a bit of a head start, and then we could get some letters sent out as well.
Hmm.
Um,
Um,
we'll go from there.
yeah, we'll go from there.